You were saying something about podcasting
Oh,
before you
um,
left.
yeah, yeah. The great thing about like podcasting is, uh, especially even if folks do it like once a week, like it's a weekly podcast,
Mm-hmm.
then which is usually, I guess, the time frame in general for podcasts. Um, you just schedule a time. A schedule time that best works for everybody, and you just go from there. It's not like the podcast has to happen, on a particular for most people,
Right.
unless they really have a really crazy schedule. It doesn't have to happen, like every Tuesday. We're recording every Tuesday at whatever time, unless somebody's, folks are obviously recording the podcast live and also streaming it. But for the most
Right.
part, you know, I think I'll be on Dan's next podcast
Hell
just
yeah.
because he needed somebody to fill in. And we just find a time, and it can be pushed back or whatnot. But you generally have like a whole week to figure all that stuff out. So
Exactly.
um, yeah, it makes it pretty convenient, especially for content creators who have a pretty crazy schedule, or
The
really
busy
anybody that has a
motherfucker
busy
like
schedule.
you.
Uh, oh boy. Yeah, that's of my own doing. That is of my own doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I do be vamping, and that it pushes things back a bit. So I am ready whenever you are.
All right. Fantastic. Then I mean we can just jump right into it. So give us an introduction, who you are, what you do, where can we find you, and what are you listening to?
Ooh, the what are you listening to
It
is
doesn't have
um
to be specifically alternative or emo music. It can be
of
whatever
course,
you've been
of
listening to
course,
recently.
of course. So my name is Physics, aka Tony. If you did not previously know me, I am a content creator, and I stream on Twitch. I'm active on Twitter, of course, but you can find me on most platforms, such as Twitch, YouTube, and also what was the last one that has the ill physics link? Instagram as well. So youtube.com/physics ill physics actually, um, twitter.com/ill physics, and most importantly, and the place that I have the most consistent footprint would be twitch.tv/ill physics as well.
I mean, that's where I met you. I'll agree with that. That's the
True,
go-to for me.
true, true. And that's also the place that I enjoy being the most. To be honest, I feel pretty comfortable on camera, and me and building community.
Hmm.
I do enjoy it. That's what I do it for more than anything else, as far as content creation or whatever else I get into. So that's
Absolutely.
primarily where you can find me. But yeah, my main game that I stream on Twitch is Apex Legends. I met you, of course, through the Destiny 2 community, which
Hmm.
is a community that shares a particularly special place in my heart. And I don't play Destiny 2 as much anymore. The PvP got a little bit stale, but hopefully spruce it up a little bit. I'll be able to
Ideally,
make
yeah.
ideally, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I'll
they
be able
did
to make
just
my way
announce
back.
the Witch Queen reveal on the 24th of August.
True, true.
So hopefully
Yes,
something good will happen
I
from
did
that.
just that. I completely agree. I completely agree. It'd be wonderful. I really hope that we end up getting something substantial to the tune of a Taken King
Ooh.
expansion from Destiny One.
Mm-hmm.
But PvP just is sorely lacking on content, and anti cheat as well, an active one that is not just some guy in a room in Uzbekistan. I don't know. So that'd be fantastic. But until that happens, I've been really, really enjoying Apex, which is probably, in my opinion, the game, at least on PC, that it has the closest experience, to the Destiny 2 PvP experience, such that
Absolutely.
gunplay and movement are the two key elements of that gameplay experience. So that is where you can find me. Otherwise, you can also find me in Discord as well. I mean, I can't share that link because it has like Y's and threes and and G's and things. things along that line. But of course, you can you can find all of my links and socials and that sort of thing, both in Twitch chat and also on Twitter.
Do you have a link tree, by the way?
I do. Let
Uh,
me see.
if you
Is
send that
the
to me,
link
I'll put it in the
tree?
description.
Gotcha. Perfect. Perfect.
And then, what have you been listening to?
And you're editing this, of course,
Yeah, I'll
as
be
far as
editing it. Yeah, we're good.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, you know what? I forgot. I forgot. So you can also find me on link. You can also find me on Linktree, and I don't actually state the Linktree off link too often, but it is actually Linktree/illphysics.
Okay.
So that's convenient, and of course
Super
that has
convenient.
all the spaces that I am active, including additionally, the Discord, um, and yeah, yeah.
I wish I like could be more active in Discords because like group chats in general just make me feel super anxious. So I just feel like that on a huge scale in Discord. So I just stay away from it.
Yeah, and that's tough too, because like I've noticed that as my Discord grows and my footprint online in general grows, that
Hmm.
there are folks that were more active community members in the Discord in particular, who don't interact as much, and they told me as much. So it's a double-edged sword, right?
It
Growth is sometimes a double-edged sword.
absolutely.
You also asked me, what have I been listening to lately?
Uh huh.
Let's take a look. Did you hear that big gulp from me drinking a big gulp of water?
I didn't hear it, but
I
I
never know
felt it.
what comes through on the
I
mic.
felt
Oh, you felt
it.
it. Uh, Here, maybe I'll get a nice solid S tier burp out like you do.
Ooh. Bonus points if you do. S tier burps though, I haven't heard them described like that for me before.
Yo,
Thank you.
you got a nice one. You got it's almost it's rhythmic. Normally when folks burp on the mic, it bothers me. It bothers me. I tell people that all the time. I'm just like, yo, can you please say excuse me? But whenever Ellie does it in particular, I don't know, it's copacetic. It's something about it. I could probably go to sleep to it. Honestly, I could probably go to
ASMR
sleep to it.
burps.
ASMR burp by Ellie B.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. I'm just like, oh, okay, no, that didn't really bother me at all. Actually, let me hear that
That
again.
was nice.
Let me hear that in a slightly different pitch. I'm gonna auto tune that burp.
Do it.
Uh,
You have my
um,
full permission to auto tune my burps.
I'd I'd run it past you first, but and definitely give you credit. I don't want to get DMCA for some burps, some rhythmic burps, but. Oh boy. So what have I been listening to
Yes, sir.
lately? I am all over the place. If folks drop by the Twitch channel, a lot of times we have been listening to music, and I run a bunch of different playlists. Obviously, or maybe not so obviously, the DMCA
Hmm.
stuff has been cracking down across, you know, all social media, to be honest, which forced me to do some audio video wizardry in order to still play what I want on stream, at least for the
Hmm.
time being, until they get some live screening of music. As opposed to right now, it seems that they mainly knock you on the VOD
Hmm.
and on clips.
Hmm.
Um, but also, Apex Legends is a fairly heavy, um, audio heavy game, to the
Hmm.
point where in Destiny 2, how you determine who's around you, what's going on in your surroundings, is primarily by the radar, so visually. But in Apex, is primarily by the audio, footsteps, etc., etc. And so I haven't been able to listen to music quite as much. And then also, I'm just trying to gauge whether, this is a new thing for me as far as streaming Apex Legends and being a part of that community. And I'm trying to determine, what is kind of like best practice, best industry practice, I guess,
Hmm.
what people are used to in the Apex Legends community, and whether they want, music to be in the background, whether it's great music or not.
Hmm.
So I haven't really been streaming as much music, which kind of sucks because I spend a lot of time streaming during the week, and that is one of my main times to kind of vibe to music and share music and discover new music. So that being the case, long story short, I haven't been listening to as much new music, but I'll mention some music that I've been really, taken by for the past like year. 'Cause I'll just
Absolutely.
get hooked on an artist. There's an artist named So Cliche, and uh, this is one of those artists that has like the O in So Cliche as a zero.
Okay.
Actually, I made it seem like it was more complicated than it was. That is the only thing that makes it stand out, other than just spelling So Cliche. So no space. So S0. No space between so and cliche, and then just cliche with an accent over the e. And I've just been uh, yeah, kind of just hooked on it. I don't think they have the largest catalog, so cliche, but what they do have is just bangers, like just bangers.
All
So,
right. I will
um,
save a few songs. I'm gonna save
yeah,
Ted Bundy, 50 Shades, and Did Your Heart Stand Still. Those are their top three songs on Spotify.
sounds good. Yep. I think Ted Bundy is probably my favorite.
Okay.
So those are great selections right there. And what I'll do as well is I will copy. I made a playlist with all
Mhm.
my favorites. Let's see, it's
Perfect.
9 songs, so I'll just copy that right now and send that to you.
Perfect.
Share, copy the list link, and
Because what I'm gonna do is once I have a few more episodes, I'm gonna have all the recommendations from my guests and then a few recommendations from me, and then I'll publish that
mm,
playlist and keep updating it as it goes on.
that's fantastic. That is a great idea.
Thank
That
you.
is a great idea. I love it. So cliche. What other artists have I been listening to lately? Gonna look at my playlists on Spotify. Oh, I've been listening to quite a bit of NF. So NF released an album not too long ago called Clouds, the mixtape. I
Hmm.
guess it's a mixtape album. That was fantastic. My favorite song on that album is probably the track "Lost" that he released up front. I believe that was the promo track for the mixtape slash album, and it had Hobson, and I'm a big fan of Hobson. So,
Ooh.
hmm so that was really good. Let's see what else. Uh, I'll list one more
Okay. Sounds good to me.
artist. Nah, I say that. I say that. I say that.
Okay, you sent it to me on Twitter. Gotcha.
Yep. I sent it to you on Twitter. That's correct.
Okay.
Um, the last like couple artists are hip hop artists,
Okay.
and probably a couple of my favorite artists from last year. Period. Um, One is an artist called Shaq is Dope. And that yeah, I don't know. It just gets me going. Just gets me going between Shaq is Dope, and I believe Dave East. I'm just double checking. Yeah, and Dave East. So those are probably the artists that I listen to the most. Probably over the last year, and
Okay.
I've really enjoyed the quality and consistency, the consistent quality of their output whenever they do end up releasing tracks. What I love about the music that has come out in the last hmm, what decade, a little more than a decade. I'm a boomer, so uh, when we were younger, when I was younger, I should say, um, artists they'd have to release music like Drake. Basically, everybody was releasing track after track after track like Drake, like
Right.
Beyonce. Because artists still do that these days. It's not as if um, that's gone the way of the dodo. But what I love about kind of this more democratic, I guess I'll say, release of music. Folks can get famous off of the internet. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
they can release. Yeah, what do they call them? The SoundCloud rappers. They can release
Yes.
something for free on a platform that is a free platform on SoundCloud, and they can get famous off of that. They can sign deals off of that basically, as opposed to artists of the past, 20 years ago, for example, and more, obviously, that have traditionally had to go through the whole, process of becoming discovered. Like all of that was funneled through the music industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my point is, what I love about right now is, folks can be like Childish Gambino, basically, and release an album, every 4, 5 years or something. ASAP Rocky, same sort of thing. Huge artists, household names, but they don't release an album, and they just go dark for like a couple of years. And so that allows them the opportunity to to just release quality, just release a product that they are 100% happy with, and that reflects, the highest quality of their creative output at that moment. Instead of, kind of releasing fillers,
Mm-hmm.
releasing, music that they don't necessarily 100% stand by creatively, because, some exec says that they have to fulfill 5 albums
Right.
in in 3 years,
Exactly.
so yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that my favorite artist will release a track, every few months or something like that, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
just be a banger. And I don't know, I just see a lot more consistent quality output through artists that I enjoy listening to, and so I'm a fan of that.
When artists break away from record labels, it takes away a lot of the pressure that I think record companies put on them. Like,
Mm, mm,
you have a contract that you're obligated to fulfill, and without that, you can do whatever you want. You can put out the quality, and you can take your time more, and you can actually get the perfect product out that you want.
yeah, I would generally agree with that. I mean, there's pros and cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're a part of that structure, they provide you structure as well.
Right.
You know, for me, I thrive in a setting. Honestly, I thrive in a setting where, um, you know, folks give me structure, and then I kind of work. I work within the framework of that structure in order to get my product out in a timely and consistent fashion. It's much more difficult for me to do that when I'm my own boss. Hence why I'll be on Twitch streaming for 20 hours straight instead of going the fuck to bed, forcing myself to bed so that I can make sure that I'm up, for a meeting or to make sure that I can function at my best the next day to maybe produce a YouTube video or something along that line. So pros and cons, because you're exactly right. Working within the constraints of the music industry can be really rough. We've seen it. It'll hit people's mental health really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People will sign contracts that aren't the best for them long term, or sign contracts that they don't truly understand because it's a requirement. For example, like I said, 20 years ago and more, to sign to the music industry in
Mm-hmm.
order to even have the possibility, right, of making a career out of it. So I can see it. I can see it both ways, and obviously, a sweet spot the sweet spot still probably lies on, or still probably um, is on the side of being your own boss. But
Mm-hmm.
I can, I try to look at things critically, and I can definitely see how the structure of the music industry. Especially if you have a more thoughtful contract, something that caters a little bit better to you and
Mm-hmm.
your success and your creative freedom. I can see how that might play out well for some folks who like a bit more structure and and otherwise they'll burn out because they don't sleep but 2 hours a day.
Yep. I feel that shit. Um, when it comes to like structured versus non-structured, I definitely need structure. So like the first year that I was back on Twitch, I actually set my schedule. I did it consistently for a year. And now that I'm past that, I fucking haven't streamed like consistently since I hit that year mark. So I definitely need to get
Yeah.
back on the structure and honestly find a game that makes me happy again. But
Yeah.
um, I'm also curious to see how like the music industry is going to adapt to all of this because like it's I feel like it's going to be harder for um, the music industry to continue as it is with everything having such positive potential for independence,
Mm, mm.
and especially with DMCA. Like, thanks to Lars Ulrich back in the Napster days, we get all these issues fucking now. It's so goddamn frustrating. Just let me listen to what I want to listen to. I want to share music with my friends.
Yes, yes, yes. That is the most frustrating thing about this DMCA stuff
Mm-hmm.
is, a large part of who I am, just in general, is music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and sharing that with friends. I truly enjoy sharing that with friends. I truly enjoy friends sharing that with me. So I mean, because that is how, one of the main avenues by which I find new music. And it's yeah, it's tough, and it's particularly tough for artists that aren't aren't millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of artists aren't millionaires. They would benefit more from the exposure at that point in time than they would from the limited cash that they ended up getting from limited plays, because they're a growing artist more than anything
Exactly.
else. And I'm not advocating for or against the MCA. What I will say is that it does seem like in my limited research about it, that it's DMCA and getting these strikes and not being able to stream on Twitch, because it seems as if most contracts skew towards the execs and the music industry, as opposed to that cash going towards the artist. Um, and so it just seems like there's, in most times, it's more of an incentive for the music execs and the music companies to crack down than there is for the individual artists themselves.
Exactly.
But
I know.
again, I'm not against making sure that there is an avenue for if I were to stream music on, ideally the sweet spot would be, if I'm going to stream music on Twitch, that I have an outlet to, or I have the ability to also make sure that the artist gets some degree of compensation for that. I don't know. I've said it before, and sorry, I'm just kind of off the cuff here, but
Oh,
I've
you're
said
good.
before, if there was a subscription service, embedded within Twitch, for example, to the point where I could play whatever I wanted off of Spotify for free, I would pay an extra subscription amount per month in order to do that. In order
Absolutely.
to share that music, I would 100% do that. That would be the sweet spot for me, because I don't mind paying, but there's just not an avenue to do that, and I just want to share music with my friends and have them do the same thing.
I would absolutely be okay with paying a specific amount of money each month
Mm-hmm.
because my community is also so focused on music. Like, if I can't give my community what they want, then that affects me. It doesn't just affect fucking execs up top at the top fucking level, or even just the artist. It affects everyone. Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, word of mouth is the most effective fucking advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you
No,
taking
it's
that
true.
away from us?
Yep. No. Yeah. Why are you taking that away from us? And why are you taking that away from, again, artists that are trying to grow, artists that are trying to get their names out there,
Exactly.
um, that sort of thing. And again, I'm not advocating for continuing this model that we have right now, where I stream a particular piece of music on Twitch, and the artist doesn't necessarily get paid in a way that is fair.
Right.
If I'm sharing music, I'd prefer that there was a way, just like you said, to pay some sort of monthly subscription, to the point where I could share that music, but also specifically the artist would get some degree of compensation for me doing that. But yeah, you said it exactly right. And I'll put it this way: two things. One is that I agree. Word of mouth is one of the strongest way, if not the strongest ways, to grow as an artist or just in artistry. Period. Because if your friend suggests something, that's the person you're gonna trust your friend over some random person on the street. For example, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna trust a family member over some random person off the street. You're gonna allow yourself to be influenced by them more than you would by some record exec telling you should listen to this person on the television. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is community. You said, like sharing music, sharing things that we love, really getting into those conversations, those passionate conversations that folks have for the different music that they love and enjoy. That's the way to build friendships, and that's a great way to foster community. And so when they kind of this DMCA stuff, robs us of an opportunity to have those conversations and build that community better, right? So yeah,
Exactly. It robs us and the artist of opportunities for the artist to grow
yeah,
and
most
put out
definitely.
good content, more good
Yeah,
content.
yeah, no, it's true, and have that feedback as well, because as I continue to kind of push my brand of artistry through streaming and content creation, you end up recognizing more how much that feedback is really helpful, especially when you're making content specific for your baseline community, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a fun little tangent that we took. Yeah, most of the time I'm just flying through these questions with my guests, but we spent a solid like 15 minutes on that one
Oh,
question
I
there.
mean, yeah, you know me, I can talk.
I know, and I love it. Cause like I've been trying to figure out ways to like extend it a little bit, like to like an hour, hour and a half, because I've been consistently at like 45 minutes each time. But
Hmm.
this was honestly perfect. So back to my list of questions here, my ever so small list of questions. What
No,
got
it's
you
perfect. I thought
into
it was a perfect
alternative
length.
or emo music?
What got me into alt music?
Mm-hmm.
What got me into emo music?
Yes.
Um,
Tell me your
friend in
story,
college.
Tony.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I had a
Okay.
best friend who's still a good friend to this day, um, in high school actually. And so I've known him since high school, which was in '99 is when I met him.
You were in high
And
school in '99.
I was in high school in '99. That is
I was
correct.
7.
Hey.
Ah, you look
Yep.
really young. Just fucking throwing that out there.
Hey, they say it and it's true. Black does not crack. So, um, but yeah, high school. And it was just one particular good friend who introduced me to. Let me see. I believe introduced me to. Well, let me back up just a little bit more.
No
In
worries.
'98, I had a girlfriend that introduced me to classic rock.
Okay.
Before that, I was number one sheltered, and number two, probably um, the majority of the music that I had been exposed to was hip hop and R&B, just based off of the listening habits of my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and the limited radio stations that I had access to at the time. But my girlfriend, in '98, when I went to high school, which was a boarding high school, I started boarding high school at '98, and it was just for the 11th and 12th grade. Um, she was the classic girlfriend that made you mixtapes. Especially she would make mixtapes for me over the summer when we were separated, when we went home
That's so
from
cute.
boarding school. I know. You could literally make a movie out
Oh,
of it. Seriously, I think that was my first girlfriend too. Actually, you
oh
could
my God.
literally, I know, you could literally
So
make.
pure.
It really was. It really was. So yes, she made a bunch of mixtapes for me. Still have them. And when we talk about mixtapes, we are talking about actual mixtapes here. Because I have to remember that you were 7 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and your audience is probably closer to your age
Yeah.
than than to my age. So these were tapes that were actually on magnetic strips,
Actual cassette
with
tapes.
exactly cassette tapes inside of a plastic, casing. So, so yeah, and that probably kind of facilitated how easily I was able to get acclimated when my buddy introduced me to, I think, Armor for Sleep
Okay.
was the first kind of like alt emo music or alt emo album that he really got me hooked on. What was it called? The name, I was just talking about this on stream as well. And I'll send you some more playlists, like two or three other playlists as well. But Armor for
You
Sleep.
send me shit and I'll listen to it. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got playlists on playlists. Uh, this album, Dream to Make Believe.
Okay.
So that may have been. I was probably listening to a little bit of alt emo music before then, but I think that was the one that really set things off for me. It was a 2003 album, so
Okay.
a little bit later down the road. Because again, he's my friend to this day still, and we didn't go to college together, but where I am, there's just a really large concentration of colleges. So he was
Mm-hmm.
literally 30 minutes down the road from me. He went to a different college, but 30 minutes down the road, so it's practically the same college.
So you still got to see him
Still
all
got to
throughout
see
college.
him. Yep, exactly, and still lives 15 minutes down the road from me now. So,
No, that's fucking cool.
yep, it
Those
is
lifelong
convenient.
friends.
Yep, those lifelong friends, exactly. So definitely blessed in that. But yes, so it probably started with Armor for Sleep, Dream to Make Believe, and it kind of just went from there. But that's what kind of got me into emo music, alt rock. Was him. Him and his brother were just huge into it, and so I don't think I had ever been to a concert maybe before I started hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, those are probably alt rock emo music concerts are probably the genre, or the genres that I've gone to the most concerts for. So
Do you
yeah.
have a favorite artist that you like to see live?
Oh, oh, oh. That's tough. But if I were to say, as far as within the alt rock and emo genre, I would have to say Circus Survive. I would have to say Circus Survive.
Oh.
Anthony Green was just a creative force, it's just a character, just
Absolutely.
an absolute character, an absolute character. I remember the second concert that I went to for Circus Survive, because I've been to probably like three, four, which is a lot for me.
Right.
3, 4, 5 of just Circus Survive. That's a lot for me, because it's not like I'm hitting the concert circuit like all the time. And generally, I go because I have folks to go with, and generally, again, my one of my best friends or his brother, or our small group of friends that enjoy that genre of music. Um, yeah, he just had like one of those. It was probably the best of the 4 or 5 shows that I've ever been to for Circus Survive. And then after the show, I got to meet him, and he was just outside wiling. After the show, he hung out. He always hangs out, or not necessarily always hangs out, I guess, but at least to my memory, I feel like I always saw him after the show. He never dipped. Maybe I might not see the rest of the band, but Anthony Green was always kind of there, and so I think he had maybe had a bit of whiskey or a bit of post show libations, uh, and he was outside in a dress. And he was just wild. It was I don't know. It was surreal. It was so much fun. It was so much fun to meet him, and I just feel like he's just a creative genius in what he does. I haven't been following Circus Survive as of late, as much, but nonetheless, just very much. I guess I'll use the pun. Very much taken back by both Anthony Green in particular, but Circus Survive is if someone were to ask me And I guess this right here actually segues into your next question. Give me, your favorites list.
Yes.
Circus Survive is probably my favorite like alt rock. Um, I guess they may fall in it. Probably I think the experimental rock genre.
They definitely
But
fall under the umbrella.
yeah, probably Circus Survive, and largely off of the strength of Anthony Green, the lead singer.
Fantastic. Do you have a favorite album from them?
Let's see. Favorite album from Circus Survive. Probably their first.
Okay.
I'd have to look up the names of the subsequent albums, but Jaturna, I believe, is the first album.
Okay.
I remember correctly. Probably their first, just because it just hit me so hard. It hit me like so hard. That got everything started for me. For Circus Survive.
So if you're cool with just leaving the favorites list at Circa Survive, then we can move on and we can segue that into memorable moments from shows, because you said Circa Survive was your favorite artist to see live as well.
Yeah, and because I like to be, because I like to be complete. I'll give you a quick, if you'll allow, I'll give you a quick,
Of course.
couple of other bands or albums from this genre. Taking Back Sunday, for
Of
sure.
course. Of course.
I don't know. I don't know how anybody, from that genre, from that time frame, can not list Taking Back Sunday. To be honest, saw them in concert once or twice at least. Yellow Card,
Oh,
Yellow Card, Yellow Card, Yellow Card.
yes.
It was that violin. That
Mm-hmm.
violin just did it.
It just
Oh my goodness.
it elevated pop punk to a whole new level.
It really did. Really did. I'll save my second favorite band for last. Let me see. I'll mention Sayasin just because before Anthony Green was a part of Circus Survive, he was the lead singer for Sayasin, I believe. See Flyleaf. Oh
Ooh.
man, Flyleaf. I love. I can't remember off the top of my head right now the name of the lead singer.
Her name is Lacey
but, oh,
something. I don't remember her last name. Here, let me look it
Yeah.
up real quick, because now I need
Beautiful. Seriously, that first album. What was the name of that? Their self-titled first album, Flyleaf. Oh,
Lacey
I'm
Sturm.
getting goosebumps right now. Lacey Sturm.
Mhm.
Got you.
Yeah,
I'm
that
getting
first
goosebumps
album
right now.
just
It
so
hit
fucking good.
so
It was so
good.
surprising to learn that they were a fucking Christian band too.
I know, and I'll say this. That's a great segue to my second favorite, probably my second favorite band, Under Oath.
I
Oh
fucking
my-
knew it. As soon
Did
as
you know it?
as soon as you fucking said
telling you.
suddenly Christian, I was like, oh, it's
Yup.
probably fucking Under Oath. That
Oh,
makes sense.
Oh my God, Under Oath. Like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Because I've definitely been to probably like three of their concerts, man.
Okay.
But whew, well, I fucking love Under Oath, seriously. And oh, that's the beautiful thing about I guess like music in general is it's not as if at that time my best friend definitely was heavy into Under Oath, but Under Oath is pretty far out of my wheelhouse as far as sonically, right?
Mhm.
Because it's screamo,
Uh-huh.
it's screamo. It's kind of like well, I'll say no, like a lot of bands, they had members float in and out of the band or whatnot,
Uh-huh.
but I believe they got larger, semi-mainstream semi-mainstream success with one set of folks, right?
Mhm.
One set of folks. I mean, that's oftentimes what ends up happening with bands, right? Is they hit a particular. I mean, bands that become successful, that oftentimes they lose this member, but they're just a sweet spot as far as like the membership, and also they release that one album that just hits. And so I believe that the one album that ended up hitting for them and giving them that mainstream success. Let me see. Where are you, Under Oath? Just want to remember correctly. Yeah, 2004 album. They're only chasing safety. They're only chasing safety. 2004 album, and I believe that's kind of the album that set them off. And
Yep.
I guess what I was trying to say, well, I lost my train of thought for a
Oh,
second
you're
there.
good.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that uh, I I guess I was lucky that I discovered them at the time that they eased up a little bit on the screamo, made their sound a little bit more accessible, and it was like perfect. It was like perfect. It was the perfect middle ground between the genre at the time, the wider genre of alt rock emo at the time. It was the perfect middle ground between that and like more, you know, traditional screamo, I guess. Like when I say traditional screamo, like it was like if you
Like,
listen to their albums previous, it was much harsher, you know. So it felt pretty squarely within, previous to this album, it felt pretty squarely um, within the screamo genre, and
absolutely.
so yeah, they sonically they just it just hit. It was like the first screamo. I'd heard screamo before, but it was the first screamo where it was like, wow, like
Oh, this fucks.
yeah, really, seriously, really. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much like that sums it up. Like this fucks. This is so fucking good. Like I feel something with this, you know.
I feel
So
you.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right, and
yeah.
then for my next question, do you have any new band recommendations? We did kind of go over that in what have you been listening to, and if you don't have any like modern artists, I've got plenty that I can give you.
Uh, yeah. I haven't been listening to as much like all rock emo lately. I haven't been listening to as much within this genre lately. I usually float. I'll listen to, a particular genre pretty heavily
Hmm.
for a couple years, and then I'll float and I'll move over to something else. So I'm a little out of date with this particular genre. If so cliche is probably the closest, and so cliche, it doesn't fit. I mean, obviously, emo in particular has evolved,
Hmm.
right? Like
Hmm.
there aren't there. I mean, it's not like like the mid 2000s was like the sweet spot for just great emo as we know it, as it came into the public consciousness, right? And so now it's warped a little bit. And so I mentioned so cliche because it definitely has some pop emo credentials, but it also has that sad boy music vibe to it as well. Um, so yeah, that's probably the closest. That's probably the closest between that and I guess like if you want to mesh, because when I think about emo,
Hmm.
I don't necessarily. I think the genre is larger than, and maybe you can agree or disagree. I think the genre is larger than just, for example, rock music, right? I
Exactly.
mean,
I mean, yeah,
like,
because lately there's been a whole fucking new wave of emo rappers, which is
yes,
fucking wild, but it's so
yep.
cool.
Yeah, it is. It is that mashup is so cool, and so you've seen how again that evolves. Like when people think about emo music, um, I would just hate for them to be so restrictive with the Taking Backs, with the Under Oaths, with
Hmm.
the Armor for Sleeps, and recognize that it evolved. It
Exactly.
evolved into the Juice World. It evolved into the NFs. It evolved into the So Cliches, and that's just been a really fucking amazing evolution or progression to watch from music that I really enjoyed as my younger self. So
Have you listened to Lil Aaron at all?
I've listened to a couple of Little
Okay.
Aaron songs actually. Yeah. Do you
Then,
have a particular one to suggest?
let's see, what song do I have saved? I think I have two songs. I have that one song, which is the name of the song, and then Bleach on the Rocks. I like those two a lot.
See here.
And then I sent
On the
you
rocks. Got you.
my favorite band, my favorite album by my favorite band, which is clouded by this wildlife. Um,
Gotcha.
those motherfuckers will make you feel shit.
All right, all
uh,
right, all right. I have no doubt of it.
I took my friend to one of their concerts, and during one of the songs, she flat out just started crying because it was just
Is that right?
so fucking. Seeing them live is like your shower is taking. I mean, your soul is taking a shower,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
just fucking beautiful and amazing, and I love them.
Yep. And that's something I didn't realize until I started going to more concerts, um, in my youth and concerts in particular, um, where because I'd been to concerts before, but it wasn't necessarily with uh, musical artists that resonated as deeply as some of the albums and artists that I listened to, like later down the road. It was like I went to concerts maybe with music that I loved because my parents loved it, for
Right.
example, and so when I started going to some of these other shows, when I was in college in particular, um, it was artists that I loved that spoke specifically to me and my generation and what I was going through and my teenage angst, if you will. uh, and you're right that showed me. I was like, man, this is why people go to concerts. I can
Mm-hmm.
listen to this on my CD player or on my tape player. God damn, I'm old. Um, I can listen to this on my CD player, for example, and I can really be feeling this. And then I go to a concert and like, wow, it's just like yeah, you're right. It's just goosebumps. That's all I can.
Yep.
That's all I can say. It's just goosebumps times 10. And yeah, it resonates in more than one way.
I had I have one more recommendation for you for artists, and that's Spirit Box. I'm gonna
Spirit
send you
Box. Okay.
their
Yeah,
artist profile on Spotify. Any fucking song by them is good.
I love it.
They
Okay.
have not missed yet.
Ooh.
That
Okay. I
it
like it.
goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You can fucking put out what you want when you're ready to put it out.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
They're honestly, oh, they're so good.
And what I love about that, I'll just mention this point real quick that I alluded to earlier is you can make filler songs. You
Mm.
can make an album that is 7 out of 10 from an artist that I love. 7 out of 10 is solid. I'll listen to that
Mm-hmm.
a few times or whatnot. But man, like I said, like So Cliche is a great example um, that checks so many boxes that I could just listen. I can listen to that playlist that I sent you. I don't know. There were streams where I would literally listen to that playlist of 9 songs for 12 hours.
I'm
And
really
I
excited
still
to
listen
listen
to
to
that
it now.
playlist. Yeah, yeah. It's just so catchy and like I said, just checks off so many boxes. So, yep.
Fuck yeah. Uh, again, for this next question, if you don't have a recommendation, I've got a few I can bust out as well. Do you have any bands
Okay.
from the fucking peak emo era that
Oh man.
you don't feel like they got enough attention?
Ooh, oh no, yeah, you asked me about that time and I was deep into it. Yeah, I'm sure you've got your thoughts on that, but let me see. Bands from that time that I feel like didn't get the shine that they deserved. Let me see, and let me make sure that I send you this playlist right here
Okay.
because this is the one that I kind of reference. Copy link to playlist. So anytime I was mentioning this yesterday actually on stream. Anytime that I create a playlist, it's usually because I'm just like, oh man, I really love this artist, and I mean I'm sure this is how other people do it as well. A lot of times, I really love this artist. I'm gonna springboard off of this artist and create a playlist based off of this artist, and
Ooh.
that gives them the radio feature, for example. Spotify has the radio feature where you can right click and you can say create a radio. Based on this particular song or this particular artist. And so Taking Back Sunday was the artist that kind of springboarded this this playlist.
Oh, dude, I
So
fucking love this playlist.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
and so I'm taking a look at it now. Did Yellow Card get the shine that they deserved?
I
I don't know if they had
I
like
don't know.
crazy. I don't know. I don't know
It's
either.
it's hard to say,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I feel like they kind of did. They kind of did. Um, because but I just feel like Taking Back is a good example of an emo band that just I feel like they had right on the edge of, if not the edge of, just straight mainstream success,
I'll agree with that.
for emo.
I feel like
Like
if we're going to say that the peak of the emo genre was My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, and Panic at the
mm,
Disco,
mm,
I think Taking Back Sunday is right under it, and I think Yellow Card's
mm-hmm.
right along with them. So they weren't
Okay.
quite mainstream, but they were fucking still,
They were there.
yeah.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
honestly, the
Okay.
artist that I was going to bring up it was Cartel, which is along the same lines as
Mm, mm.
Taking Back Sunday. They were super popular for a very short time, but then just immediately fell off.
Mm, mm. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Oh man, see this right here, this right here is gonna make me open up because again, Boomer. So I was, I was here before Spotify, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so therefore, it's kind of like I know it's you, so I can branch off this. It's kind of like porn. Like why are you saving porn to your PC? It's all online now. It's
You
all
don't need
online.
to save it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to save anymore. Like, who saves porn to their PC now? That's some
Exactly.
truly boomer shit. And it's the same thing with music, Like, why would you, in the age of streaming, like, why, and the cloud, why would you save that
Right.
to your PC? But, I was here before all of that. And so I have gigs and gigs and gigs of music saved to my PC. And I could literally open up my music folder. It's got to be hundreds of gigs. And I can literally open up my music folder and I have, like an alt rock, I have like an emo folder. Actually, I gotta open that up anyway, just so I can scan the artists.
I am also going to send you a
Oh boy.
picture as soon as I find it of my CD collection.
Ah,
Now it's a completely dog
hell
shit
yeah.
picture because my room's a disaster, but this isn't even my full collection either. I have shit spread everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
As soon as I fucking find the picture.
Yeah, take your time. I'm
Oh yeah,
looking
you're
for
good.
mine.
You're digging too.
All right. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay, I see one that's standing out.
Okay.
If I see anything else that stands out to me. Oh, man, I forgot about. Ooh. This is not an answer, but goddamn Jimmy Eat World, Jesus.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking classics right there.
yes, so good. Jimmy Eat World, um, although the vocals not as strong simply because the vocals of the band that I'm about to mention are just fucking legendary. Like most folks' vocals are not gonna be anywhere near this guy. And now I'm trying to remember the name of this band. I can remember the name of this band though.
Do you remember the name of a song?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully it comes up in this list right here. But nonetheless, it just reminded me of that other band. Almost done scanning this folder of like hundreds of albums.
All good. I cannot find this picture. Oh well, I'll take another one, send it to you after we're done recording. Because it's a little bit ridiculous.
I love it.
And since we are flying, well, not necessarily flying, since we're not flying through the questions, we don't actually have to do all of them because the name three Fall Out Boy songs that don't exist is fucking very funny, but it's also really fucking hard.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. Fall Out Boy was not a band that, spoke spoke to me as deeply as other bands within the genre either. So that would
I
be tough
definitely
for
get
me,
it. I
for
definitely
sure.
get it. So that one we can just knock off.
Okay.
And then
I'll give
yeah,
you
we're good.
um, yeah, I'll go ahead and give you some bands that I feel like didn't really get the shine that they deserve within the genre, at least to my knowledge. I mean, I'll defer to you if you say, oh, okay, because I didn't necessarily, for example, like Yellow Card, I didn't necessarily think that they were on the same level recognition wise for their music, for what they contributed to the genre as Taken Back. So I'll defer to you if some of these aren't in line with the question. But
Well,
have you ever heard of an album? I'm sorry, a band called Dredge?
I have not.
Dredge, I discovered them because they were on one of the cards when I went to go see Circus Survive.
Mm-hmm.
So, still kind of like I guess they fall within the group of like experimental rock. Um, so I'll just mention them, and I'll probably let me write this down so I can make sure that I send you the name. Hold on.
Is it Dredg?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep,
I got
Dredge.
them.
Love Dredge.
Okay.
Super easy listening,
Okay.
very rhythmic, but very much kind of like kind of a spacey, definitely like experimental, rock kind of feel to it.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see if I can find something a little more squarely within the emo. How
It
do you
doesn't
feel
have
about
to be.
May?
Oh
Do
my
you feel
god!
like?
What a
Do you
fucking.
feel like?
Oh yes!
I feel
Oh.
like. Oh shit! I just hit a sweet spot, everybody. I just hit a sweet
Oh.
spot.
I was wondering how long it was gonna be until somebody brought this up. That's actually a
Yeah.
really fucking good one.
I feel like May. Oh, and that's actually a really good example too. I think I feel like I'm not like a crazy. I don't have like a crazy music ear, right? But I do feel like May had really above average vocals. Like
Absolutely.
okay, good. The lead singer. So I feel like May definitely didn't get, and maybe I can't remember what the time frame for May was, and whether albums like the Everglow, for example, like hit just as emo started to kind of like die down, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit within mainstream music. But nonetheless, I feel like, again, I feel like maybe you can tell me otherwise, but I feel like May didn't get the shine that they deserved because
You are
they had
absolutely
like
correct.
two or three albums that were just like, I'm like, wow, like why are we not all talking about this like we're talking about,
Exactly.
like Yellow Card, for example. Like why do we not have a couple videos like on MTV? Like they
Uh
should be up
huh.
there with the Taking Backs,
Uh huh.
both talent wise, lyric wise, just creative output as well. I mean, they had, like I said, like two or three albums that I feel like were just kind of emo classics.
Oh
So
fuck. That's such a good call.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that made me so happy.
yep.
Singularity is probably my favorite album by them.
Okay, yeah. I haven't listened to them in a while. Like, there's certain albums. I'm sorry, certain albums, certain songs, that stick with you. And I can still hear the Everglow, like the title track, like in my head, And so I don't know why, but that one resonated with me the most. But yeah, you're right. Singularity. And there's another one I feel like that was a very very strong album, but I feel like they didn't get the shine. I'll mention like two lesser ones. This is why I was really excited to come on to the show because, look, as long as you had time, I got tangents on
Dude,
tangents on
you're
tangents.
good.
I just love talking about things that I'm passionate about, things that I enjoy, and folks that obviously enjoy those things too. Oh man, because I don't get to talk about emo music too much anymore outside of like, because it's like, again, most people don't listen to that classic peak emo time anymore. Emo's kind of like evolved. So the only time I really have these types of discussions are with my best friend and his brother, basically still, because it's fallen out of tune with most of their folks.
You may
Um,
also have these conversations with me now too,
yeah,
because
yeah, I know.
obviously,
I just seriously.
look at me.
Yeah, no, you're right. We should definitely, like, I was telling Chat, see, tangent on tangent. I was telling Chat um, the other day as well, because I started playing the Taken Back playlist that I sent you,
Uh huh.
uh, and it's the first time that I've played, I think, music. It's the first time I've played music while I've been playing Apex, which I've been playing Apex for a solid like month and a half. So I haven't been
Hmm.
listening to music on stream whatsoever. And I was having this conversation where I said, yeah, you used to be on stream every Friday night. We would just have like a community night where we would just talk about music, and it could be just any music, and people would just be sharing it. And it was kind of the origin of the music channel that I have in the Discord, where people at me with music that they like, that they think I might like, or just music that they love in general. And so it's just a music share center. Um, but off of that tangent, with regards to or coming back around to May in that same vein, maybe to a lesser degree, because I don't necessarily know if they deserve it as much as May, that recognition. But the Copelands,
Ooh.
um, the Copelands, there's one more, the
Okay.
Sherwood as well. But I feel like May was kind of like at the top of the list in that little subgenre of emo, that sound. Uh, Other bands, couple other ones I feel like that maybe didn't get the shine that they deserved. Um, I don't know how big Thursday was, but
Ooh.
I feel like Thursday was kind of like a.
Just under the Taking Back Sunday level, I think, because they're
You think
still
so?
their scene is like a fucking emo classic nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think back then they were necessarily as popular as they should have been.
I feel like so when we talk about in my mind at least when we talk about emo, we're talking about then some subgenres with under emo, right? And
Hmm.
music that kind of like sonically sounded similar within that or under that umbrella. That's why I mentioned May with the Copeland and with the Sherwood,
Hmm.
because sonically they sound similar to me. And this is why I mentioned Thursday, is because I feel like Thursday maybe got outshined a little bit by Thrice.
Yes,
I feel like Thrice.
absolutely.
I think okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad. I'm just saying some shit. I'm
No,
just saying
dude.
some shit, and I haven't thought about this stuff in a while, so I'm a little insecure
All
about. I'm just
good.
like,
I trust your
what do you
opinions.
think? What do you think, Ellie? Does this sound ridiculous?
No,
But
it
I
does
feel
not
like they
sound
got like
ridiculous at all.
outshined. I feel like they got a little outshined by Thrice. It was
Yes.
one of those things where only one Thrice can exist, and then everybody else is maybe not going to be able to get elevated to that. I mean, and Thrice in their own right, like Thrice was like peak fucking Thrice. Like
Yes.
Thrice was fucking like for whatever subgenre of emo existed. Like Thrice was like quintessential, that fucking genre is
They fucking
perfect.
nailed
Like
it.
and in concert, man, that like Japanese drummer, like
Oof.
god damn, god
I have
damn,
not
that
had a
dude
chance
was
to
a
see Thrice actually.
monster. Oh my God. I went and I'm not the biggest fan of that subgenre, but my best friend is.
Hmm.
That was kind of his thing. He gravitated a little more to the harder stuff
Okay.
towards the end of peak emo, and him and his brother were huge fans of Thrice, and I'm so glad that I went to that show because it was a fucking banger. Like everything about it. They have a fantastic live show. But yeah, maybe Thursday. Um, there's a there's a group called Veda, and they changed their name to Videra, and I don't know if you've heard of them. It's
From
kind of a
Veda to Videra.
That's correct.
I have not actually. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So
hello.
VEDA, and then they changed their name to Videra. And I'm also, this is why I mentioned Flyleaf earlier.
Hmm.
In general, I gravitate towards musical artists, like women musical artists,
Oh.
within like especially within male-dominated fields, just because sonically it's just different,
Uh
and
huh.
I like different. Like that's just the simple way I like different, and so like I loved Evanescence, by the way.
Ooh.
I loved Evanescence.
Yes.
Evanescence obviously got incredible mainstream
Hmm.
success,
Same with
as they
Paramore.
should have. Paramore as well, and I feel like, by the way, I feel like Flyleaf. I feel like this way. I don't know the timeline, but I feel like Flyleaf was kind of the progenitor to like they actually laid the path, for Paramore and Haley Williams.
I could
Um,
definitely see that.
yeah. Good. I got again. I'm glad I don't sound ridiculous.
I
But
listen. I trust your
definitely Zeta
opinions,
Videra.
Tony.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you should all the time, but I try not to speak out of my ass, but that's how I feel. But yeah, Veda slash Videra, fantastic, fantastic female vocals, and yeah, just so good. Like, let me see, Veda. I think they might have only released one album under Veda, so that'll be the album that is my favorite, the one that that the Veda. Oh,
Ooh.
I know it when I see it. Actually, I don't even know why I'm sitting over here trying to look it up. I can literally just click on the music folder.
Is it VEDA? Because they're
EDA, and the name of the album is "The Weight of an Empty Room." Oh, I listened to that album. Ooh, yeah, I don't know how many times.
it
That was
does
on
not
repeat for a few
look.
months.
It does not look like they're on Spotify, or at least under that name. They might. Videra.
Yeah, it's probably under Videra. It'll be updated on Spotify almost assuredly.
Just hold on.
Yep, and I'm looking as well.
There we go.
Yep,
Artist.
it's under
What was
Videra.
the album again?
VE.
The Weight of an Empty Room.
That is correct. The Weight of an
Okay.
Empty Room.
I have that
Oh,
saved now too.
yeah. Love this album. And so I feel like this is definitely a group. I mean, they only have what, I think 2 albums. So, this is one of those things where I feel like they should have gotten more shine, but also, shine is to some degree proportional to, creative output as well. So
Right.
if you only have 2 albums and you change your name, because I think by the time they released the 2009 album Stages, which was 4 years separate from The Weight of an Empty Room, and that was their last album, and they had changed their name. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough to come back from that, especially when 2009, if I remember correctly, was also on the tail end of kind of that genre as well, like peak emo.
Yeah. After like 2009 ish, that era, it's changed over to like more post hardcore, which is like Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, that kind of band. That's when that switch happened.
Gotcha. But yeah, and like I said, because I could just, you have time, right? Like
Of course.
we're not rubbing up. Okay,
Go for
good. Tangents on tangents.
Yeah.
But
I'm having a
you know,
blast here.
yo, same. I haven't talked about this stuff in a while with somebody who really enjoys it, so I appreciate it.
I love it.
And I might have to just bring you on stream and like us have like a Friday night where we geek out, because there's quite a few people on stream as well that in my community that enjoy this music.
I'd join you for some Apex while that happens if you want.
Oh hell yeah. All right.
We've been trying to make that happen for a while too.
It's true. Well, me too. I mean, you drop by the stream every once in a while. When I'm into like Apex at the time, I'm so focused on like because I'm brand new. And I definitely, this is not a tangent I want to go off on too much actually.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause it's not really related to music, but
It's all good.
Like when you come from Destiny 2, you're one of the best PvP players in Destiny 2. And when I say one of the best, I said this on stream too. Like it's not like probably like top 250. I'm probably a top 250 player. PvP player for Destiny 2. And you like I can pull off things in Destiny 2 with ease. You go over to Apex, which also just has like a higher skill ceiling and in a lot of ways very different. I mean, at the very least, being a BR. As opposed to a traditional arena shooter, I'm just shit at the game. I'm shit at the game, and it's tough. And I want to get better as quickly as possible. And so I'm so laser focused on improvement that I haven't been able to open up and focus on making sure. The focus just basically hasn't. I haven't had the time to focus on kind of bringing folks in and making it more of a community feel.
Right.
Right now it's just a lot of me trying not to be shit.
Well, I'll say this right now. I am dog shit at all battle royales. I typically just do arenas.
Yeah, no,
For
I mean
Apex.
shit. We could play the arena. We could play the battle royale. What I do love about just bringing any and everybody on, especially folks that just don't even play much of battle royales, but don't play much of Apex, is it makes me take a step back, not take things a little as seriously, and just hop on caustic, and just be dumb, and just have a good time with friends, have a drink or whatever else. So if folks know me, especially from Twitter, I'll definitely say I'm kind of a serious person. Even when I've got like an unsent tweet But even when I was younger, like I don't know, 4 or 5 years old or something like that, uh, my uncle, even said later on in my life, he's like, "You were a really serious kid." So I guess I've just always kind of been kind of in my head, um, and so it's nice to like just get in games with friends and just be silly in a game like Apex, which I feel like is not a game that caters very much to casual play. By the way.
We'll just drop in fight night. That's all. I like punching.
Yo, good guy. Yo, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
You know me.
Yo, hell yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. I'll get on Caustic. You get on Gibby, or vice versa. We drop in a fight night. You know what I'm saying? I'll set up, and once we get out, like right on the edge, I'll set up some canisters. You'll set up the bubble, and yeah, we'll
Bet.
just punch some people. We'll just punch some people.
Bet.
Yeah, I think again tangent, but I think somebody made a video where they went and they soloed or something like that to some rank in ranked, and it was melee only or it was grenade only or something like that. True Titan shit. True Titan shit. I love it. But but to finish up with that other question, with regards to just bands, groups, artists that maybe didn't get the shine that they deserved. I'm trying to see if I got at least just one more for you, and that'll be it. But see, which one am I gonna give you here?
Anything. I love this.
Almost. I've got one. I've got one. I'm just trying to see if it's gonna be the one, the last one here.
I
Oh,
almost pulled
by
my
the way,
headphones out.
that group, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I see the name of the group, I remember the name of the lead singer, Brandon Lloyd or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember his last name. Incubus. Oh my
Oh,
fucking god, that lead singer's vocal chops, like that dude sounds studio version. Like that dude sounds analog studio fucking like lossless version. I mean, which actually it is, because I mean, if you know what it is, like yeah, obviously. But no, I'm just saying, like he sounds like he's in the studio in concert. He gets on the mic and it literally sounds exactly like he sounds. Like I bet those music engineers don't have to do shit to his voice in the studio. That dude has, oh my god, vocal chops like crazy.
I'll agree with that.
But oh my god, Incubus. But anyway, let me see. Almost done scanning. Is it really not?
I always like
Movie
to
on
make
the
the
one
joke
that I
that I
was.
want to manage a Incubus cover band completely made up of gay men, and I just want to call it Twinkubus.
That'd be a good one.
I agree.
I respect it. That'd be a good one. So I'll say I don't think I can find another one really,
Okay.
and I'll switch that back around to you too. Maybe you can let me know of one that I didn't mention, but I'll say is it gonna be? I think yeah, I think it's gonna be Spitalfield.
Ooh, that's not one I've heard of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Spitalfield. Spitalfield is kind of in the vein of there's somebody that I feel like Spitalfield is the Thursday to somebody. I'm sorry, it is the Thursday to somebody else's Thrice, and I just can't remember who the Thrice would be in that analogy. But Spitalfield, I think, would be a group that didn't get the shine I felt they deserved. They had two albums, I think, that was one definitely that was a fucking emo classic, and I'll tell you the name of that in a second. But yeah, Spitalfield.
Well, they definitely, if it's Spitafield, then there's 3 albums on Spotify.
Yep, I'm sure the classic is up there. Hold on. And I'm sure it's probably like. I'm sorry, I'm going back. Hopefully my mic isn't going like
Oh, you're good.
doing weird things. I'm going back and forth between two different PCs.
You're good.
Spitalfield. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, it's if you go to their page, the top 5 songs, before you even click more
Mm-hmm.
are from that one album. But it's Remember Right Now, and oh my God,
Okay.
if you listen to the song Kill the Drama, that's the one. That's the
Okay.
one. It might be number 5, but it's number 1. Trust me when I say that.
Bet.
Trust me when I say that.
I believe you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Classic album. Classic. I don't think I don't think when I say classic, I don't think there are any misses. That's what I mean by classic. I don't think there are any misses on that album. It's
The
not a song where I'm just like, that's a weak one.
the album that has the no skips.
Exactly. No skips. No skips. So yeah, I would say Spitalfield. I would say Spitalfield would be my last one for a band that had solid creative output and definitely had some consistent quality across the the peak emo time frame, and didn't get that shine. Didn't get that shine.
All right, I'm excited to check these artists out.
Uh,
I mean, I'm the last few questions are all just filler questions. You can answer them if you want, but we can also just call it there. It's completely up to you.
I mean, it's whatever time you have. You can chop this up and put, whatever you're feeling in the podcast. Let me see. What are some bands you don't think I deserve? Let's see. Who would you trust with your drink at a party?
So, like, what lead singers or any band members would you trust with your drink at a party? Like Ryan Key, I'd probably trust with my drink.
Man, I don't trust too many people. I'll twist that question. I'll twist
Okay,
that question. Who would
okay.
I not trust
Perfect.
with a drink at a party?
I'm absolutely down for this answer too.
Yo, fucking Anthony. That dude is fucking wild. I'm telling you when I say that dude is wild. He is like I said, he is the guy that will just get. He's already he's the type of guy where I can't tell if he's drunk or not. I could not tell whether he was drunk or not. That's what it is. That's
I
what
love
it
it.
is. Like like I said, I just remember that I was fucked up. He was in a dress, and I just started dancing with him at the bar. And I know I was fucked up. I don't know if he was, because he was just doing Anthony Green, and he was just super hyper and it, always just surrounded by a crowd. I feel like he's most likely extroverted, even though I'm a little bit older now, and I can see the nuances of the extrovert introvert pull. Nobody's
Right.
truly completely extroverted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't trust him with my drink.
That's
Just 'cause-
completely fair.
Yeah,
In all honesty, there are more artists that we would not trust with our drinks than there are artists that we
100%.
would trust with our drinks.
100%. And so I don't know if you want to. I mean, I could read because again, we're Twitch streamers, right? So
Yeah.
like when I see a question, like I act like it's a chat and I read it out myself. So I don't know if you want to read the question out so that you have it, and then
In
I
all
can
honesty, you're good to do whatever.
Okay. So if I could bring one piece of the emo scene culture to 2021, what would it be, and why? Why is it the hair? I love it. Man, for me, it's not the hair.
Okay, it's okay to be wrong.
That is really funny, but that is funny. Yeah, yep, fair enough. Hey, I defer to you. Let me see. I'm typically not the person that you saw, like the way that I look, is not the person that you would generally see. I'm not the emo, prototype. So let me see. One piece of emo scene culture 2021. One thing that I love about the emo scenes, culture, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, is the credibility. I feel like it actually got respect for the musicality. So, for example, I mentioned a couple bands that weren't. It wasn't just, like they were truly emo. Like they fit squarely within or under that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But for being emo, right? For having those lyrics that evoked like strong emotions, especially emotions that that typically teetered along the edges of negative emotions, or you know what I mean, like emotions that
Pain.
Angst,
Yeah.
pain, angst, anger, right?
Yes.
Like if you look at for a variety of different reasons, we could go in a variety of different reasons, but if you look at the emo rap, the sad boy rap, it doesn't get taken seriously for the production. I was talking about this on Twitter a little bit. Fucking Juice WRLD is a uniquely talented musical artist. Like
Absolutely.
anybody that says that Juice WRLD wasn't a uniquely talented individual, like period, like that man right there should be remembered, period, in music. That is like Hall of Fame, music Hall of Fame level. That's what Juice World was. I don't care if you don't like the genre. I don't care if you don't appreciate the lyrics, or you think the lyrics are corny or too emo. And this is why this is the analogy that I'm making. Too emo, quote unquote. Like, I feel like sad boy rap, for example, doesn't get, like, some of it's good music, period. Like, it transcends the actual genre, because
I
the
fully agree
genre,
with you.
you can definitely get uh some what's the name of the artist. There are definitely some artists that are they squarely fit with, within the genre, and they're just, like, they don't transcend it. They don't go into above and beyond.
Right.
The lyrics can be a little bit corny at times, but it's catchy. It's corny, but it's catchy. It's a little too emo, to the point where it seems a bit contrived, but it's catchy. So I'll still listen to it. Like, that's what, And so, um, what I love about the emo scene culture, of peak emo time, mid 2000s, is that, um, eh, a lot of those bands ended up getting that, even though, their lyrics were squarely within the wheelhouse of being emo.
Mm-hmm.
um, they got respect for the musicality as well. They got
Yeah.
respect for the musicality as well. So many bands got respect for the musicality, and we could, I don't want to get too deep into it, but we could talk about how rock music in general gets more respect as a white dominated genre versus, a genre that gets seen more within the black culture,
Mm-hmm.
like wheelhouse, and how that affects, how people see or give credibility for actual, music being actual good music.
Right.
But nonetheless, that's something that I would try to bring forward, because just like the emo scene had artists that were just really, they really strongly worked at their craft to create some beautiful music, some beautiful, just really just good music.
Mm-hmm.
The same is true within the sad boy genre, and within, genres of evolved emo music. Wherever emo ended up going, in 2021. That's what I'd love to see again. Is
Okay.
is the respect for artists that truly do put in that time and effort to create, just a beautiful product, that transcends emo, that transcends, sad boy rap,
I
and it's just
will.
good music.
That is actually something that I will keep in mind and actually start thinking about a little bit more. It's not just like the musicality, but also like the production aspects and everything, because you are absolutely correct. There's so much that's it's all like white focused
Mm, mm.
in the music industry, not just emo and shit. But
That's
that's
true.
primarily what it has been uh taken up by is the cishet white dudes.
Yeah, yeah, most
um,
definitely.
I have a
Everybody,
few.
everybody else exists. Everybody else exists basically to create waves that then, white cis men can end up, riding to the larger waves of success on.
Mhm.
That's basically what happens. Like, so for example, black people created, sad boy rap,
Mhm.
right? And now you have, and this is not to knock. I can just now you well I won't mention any particular artist, because I don't want to make it like I don't know these people individually. I don't know their stories,
Right.
right? So I don't want to say a particular artist, and then, so anyway, but then, like, white cis men, end up riding some of the larger waves of success,
Exactly.
on that. There will always be, much more. Well, not necessarily always be, but, currently, nothing's changed so far. There will always be, white cis men, that will generally dominate,
Mhm.
uh, the greatest heights of success,
Of any
in,
media.
really any media, period. And it's just the way that it is right now. So,
Absolutely.
hopefully in the future, like, just chops, just talent, chops, hard work will be the main determining factor. But nonetheless, it is what it is.
So I do want to bring up real quick. There is a new wave of pop punk that is coming out that is all people of color. and I think that's really fucking cool.
Okay.
Indigenous
What is
people
it?
and people of color. I'll send you some
Okay.
recommendations that I've got.
That'd be perfect.
Because I've talked about most of them on the show already.
Okay.
But yeah, I sent you one already. That's Meet Me at the Altar. But
Okay.
I'll keep sending you more because there's so many fucking good bands right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Because, like I said, I haven't been following, these trends as much. The closest that I've followed, again to kind of evolve the emo is sad boy rap. But yeah, I'd love to just see more sad boy rap, see more, evolved kind of rock, alt rock, emo. So yeah, that's perfect.
The spearhead basically behind all of this has been Travis Barker because like any song featuring Travis
Mm,
Barker is gonna instantly get some fucking clout going, and
true.
it's
100.
been wild as fuck to watch. In all honesty,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you just gave me goosebumps, like legitimately. So I love it. I love it.
good. I'm I'm really fucking glad actually. All right, I think I'm comfortable calling it there if you are.
Let me see if there's anything that. Well, we got through all the questions.
Yeah,
So yeah.
we did.
Let me have any next week with different. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
just notes for me at the end there.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
basically almost an hour and a half that I've been recording for, so this has been fucking stellar.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This has been a blast. I'll definitely. I've been much better about keeping an actual calendar and trying to like schedule things with folks, even though I'm not the best with time management. So I'll definitely hit you and try to find some time where in the next 2 weeks where we can kind of just chill, maybe have a drink and talk about this stuff on
Absolutely.
stream. Because
Um,
I'm sure this would be something that my community would love to expand upon and get some input in as well.
and I have so many opinions.
I love it. I love it. I want to hear. I love it. I love it.
So,
You say you trust me, but I trust you too.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, you know how I've had my camera on this entire time? I
Yes.
definitely forgot to record on the camera setup. So it's just my fucking emo Mondays fucking backdrop. That's it. I've had my camera on for
Uh,
no reason.
oh man.
But it's okay because
Okay.
it works out.
Well, it wasn't no reason. It wasn't no reason because I've been watching it the whole time, girl. Did that just make you feel uncomfortable?
No,
Is that what that? Okay,
no,
applause was. Okay, all right, all right, all right.
no, you're
Gotcha,
good.
gotcha.
Tony, I am fucking comfortable as fuck around you.
All right, all right, all right. Cool.
Listen, as soon as you complimented my burps, I was like, we're in. We got this. Let's go.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure, and I don't get to talk about this stuff very often anymore, as certainly as much as I was able to, kind of during the peak time where I was
Hmm.
actually going to concerts and listening to all this great music because the output was just so great. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's been an absolute blast. You've taught me so many fucking new artists that I'm super excited to fucking check out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Likewise, I'm interested to definitely just see some newer music within that wheelhouse.
And anytime you want recommendations, my friend, I have plenty.
Bet.
Um, Speaking of which, would you rather me post them in your Discord or do you want me to just send them to you via Twitter?
Um, Send it to me via Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Discord's so crazy that like yeah, I feel just much less anxiety like managing my Twitter DMs. I'm much more on top of that.
I
So,
completely
and
understand.
I'll also send you a couple more playlists as well.
By all means, send me anything and everything and I will listen to it.
Bet.
All right, my friend. One more time, tell people where they can find you, even though it's going to be in the descriptions and everything, but it's good to
Of
have it
course.
audibly.
Of course. So you can find me at twitch.tv/illphysics, at twitter.com/illphysics, at youtube.com/illphysics, at instagram.com/illistphysics actually. And yeah, if you want all those links in just kind of one easy to find place, then obviously you can just use the link tree, and it's just illphysics at linktree. So yeah. It's been great or it's been great being here.
It's
Thank you
been
so
an
much for having me.
absolute blast. I'm genuinely super excited to put this episode out.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording now.